Your Minnesota Vikings this offseason need to find the Robin to Justin freaking Jefferson's Batman, and the draft is certainly one of those fertile spots where the NFL draft this year, maybe it's lacking those alpha wide receiver ones, but this draft is very much replete with complementary wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3s, and one of those guys is Ohio State's Jaxon Smith-Njigba, where massive college production 2 years ago, sort of whatever after an injured 2022 season, but he showed up and showed out at the combine, and the pride of the Ohio State University is just an absolute slot machine monster, and he's going to be really, really impressive going forward. And he's a guy that I love, and he'll be perfect for the Vikings at 23. And his RAS, relative athletic score, he didn't run the 40. He may run that as pro day. Frankly, it's not that important because he has enough play speed just from watching the tape. He'll probably clock in at high 4.5s anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But what he showed at the combine in agility drills as well as some of the receiver drills, he showed that hamstring is good to go and he can still move, like super smooth, super fluid, and that's what matters, especially from the slot. And our guy Jordan Reed did this right up over at ESPN. Despite not running the 40-yard dash, Smith-Njigba looked terrific. He didn't show any signs of the lingering hamstring injury that limited him to 3 games last season. A precise route runner, JSN just looked different than his counterparts, displaying short area quickness and detail on his patterns. His 6.57 second 3-cone and 3.93 second short shuttle times were outstanding. The highlight of his workout came during the gauntlet drill when Smith-Njigba flew through it with smooth hands. He looked the part of wide receiver 1 on Saturday. The biggest remaining questions for him are his true straight line speed and whether he can play outside of the slot. He is expected to run the 40-yard dash at the Buckeyes Pro Day on March 22nd, and many scouts will have their stopwatches ready to go. And Smith-Njigba is 21 years young, just turned 21 in February, so he's going to be a young rookie coming in. 6 foot, a $196, a former 5-star recruit from Rockwall, Texas. Took his talents to the Ohio State University, and it's funny, when they do interviews with Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave or Jameson Williams, they all say that the best receiver that they played with, Jaxon Smith-Njigba. All right, so he's your favorite receiver's favorite receiver. And it's amazing where you have a receiver room where he had Jameson Williams, because remember he started at Ohio State, Garrett Wilson, G-Dub, Chris Olave, and you're the best receiver of that room. Kind of says a lot, man. But his bust-out season was in 2021 with Stroud, 95 catches, 1,606 yards receiving, 9 touchdowns, and like we mentioned, dealt with a hamstring issue all season last year, but showed no lingering effects from that at the combine, which is fantastic. And I mean, Smith-Njigba, he is the cleanest route runner in this class. He runs a full route tree, and you've seen the translation of, you always say scout the player, not the helmet, but in terms of players coming in from structures and offenses, Ohio State receivers, again, looking at the splash that Garrett Wilson made last year, Offensive Player of the Year, Chris Olave with the Saints did really well despite questionable quarterback play. But these guys come in, can run the full route tree, come from a pro-style offense in college, and he's just amazing. And the name of the game in today's modern NFL is getting separation. Doesn't matter if you're 6'4", doesn't matter if you're 6'1" or 5'10". If you can get open, you can get open. And that's what matters. And Smith-Njigba has got that agility, which showed in the drills, shows up on tape from 2021. He can get open in a phone booth. He's very shifty in space as well. Plus, he uses good leverage and great hands, great body control. So he checks all the boxes of what you want of that true security blanket wide receiver. Like he blends the best parts of Wes Welker as well as Cooper Kupp and Jarvis Landry. And I think that he could be that guy. And he's going to step in day one on an NFL football field, and he will be that alpha. Also has some punt return ability as well. I think that he would be just absolutely dynamite working in Kevin O'Connell's offense, working with Justin Jefferson and KJ and TJ and all the J's, etc. And just adding him to that room. I mean, even if you do part ways with Thielen this offseason, the fact that you have JJ, JSN, KJ, Jalen Naylor, Jalen Rager, TJ is your tight end. I mean, Kirk Cousins has all the weapons that you would want, man. So I am absolutely 1,000% in on Jaxon Smith-Njigba if he's there at 23. Even though, like I said, I do like some of the other receivers. Addison didn't test the best, but he certainly does have that talent. Zay Flowers, the Vikings met with, he checked a lot of boxes. Kashawn Booty was booty. Frankly, Josh Downs had himself a good combine. Jalen Hyatt, straight line speed, wasn't necessarily what you would want. Nathan Dell Tank Dell, the Vikings certainly could have an affinity for. Quentin Johnston is whatever, but I do like JSN. I'm fully in, and specifically for what the Vikings need, a guy that can operate the slot while JJ takes care of things on the outside. Let's go. Let's go, man. But your thoughts are our thoughts. Vikings need to draft the Ohio State University slot receiver Jaxon Smith-Njigba. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol. Production value.